What might the Golden Knights be willing to give up in a Rasmus Anderson trade? Next on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast on the Believe Network. Chris, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Coming up ahead, harsh conversations. We'll talk about that in our second segment as after the exit to Edmonton. A lot of finger pointing, perhaps. Who knows? Depth signings. But our top story today is what would Anderson cost VGK? So, sports agent Alan Walsh. I have to start off by quoting this guy.
Saw that.
So he's blocked me, but I can still read his tweets. Okay. In any event, he's a sports agent.
He unblocked me. That's a weirder thing.
Yeah, so he's in the know, right? So he said there's a lot of cap space money still remaining, almost $300 million, something in that vicinity. But he said teams are saying that there aren't free agent players to spend it on. So, like when you have Olofsson and Samsonov and Georgiev as your
good players.
Top three players, right? Yeah, the pool has really dwindled. So Walsh, who knows everything there, he's in the know, knows his stuff, believes that the trade market is going to heat up this upcoming week, and we might see VGK perhaps close a deal for defenseman Rasmus Anderson this week. Fans definitely want to know what is up there. Like Marner, there's one team on Anderson's radar. It's the Golden Knights. He's got that no trade clause with LA, and also there were reports that he doesn't want to go back to Los Angeles, and he also has a no-trade clause with Ottawa, and VGK is targeting Anderson. That is their main target now. Does this deal get done soon?
I think so. I've been saying I think this week a deal does come together. I think McCrimmon wants him, and what McCrimmon wants, McCrimmon tends to get in the hockey world right now. Golden Knights are on Puckpedia, they are minus 7.6 million against the cap right now. Take off Petrangelo's 8.8. Take off Cole Schwint, who's now counting against the cap. That frees up $2 million, give or take, for the salary cap. So how does 4.5 million and change appear to acquire Rasmus Anderson? And the answer, we know Barbashev is now on this untouchable, on this no trade list here, along with Hurdle and William Karlsson by the phone conversations. So how does Anderson become a Golden Knight? And I think White Cloud is the starting points. I think looking between the lines here, Korczak gets his extension. They want Korczak to be an everyday player. They're not paying Korczak $3.25 million to be the seventh defenseman, so they can have Anderson and White Cloud and Korczak all in the lineup. So Korczak, number one, 2.75 for 3 more years, advantageous contract for Calgary to take on as well. And then you're looking at a prospect and or a draft pick. If I'm Calgary, I'm pushing for White Cloud, a second, and Connelly or whoever the next best thing is for the VGK.
The crazy thing is, after you first put out there on the X, you okay there?
I don't know if it's like something bit me. I got fang marks on my arm. Like literally, I woke up the other day and saw like fang marks, and I'm like, anytime I feel something, I'm scared there's like a friggin' tarantula about to kill me or something now. But keep going.
Okay. So I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, ever since you put out Connelly there, his name, right, out in social media, now people are saying, oh, yeah, that could definitely be a part of this deal.
They're saying Connelly's next Gretzky. No one wants Connelly to go. They love Connelly now in Vegas, Tony.
I was looking for a home, first off, for Ben Hutton. Hear me out. Vancouver, Winnipeg, Tampa. I went deep this weekend. They're all looking for depth defensemen. So maybe a 3-team sort of a deal there. Yes, I agree on White Cloud. send him to Cal, Gary, send a prospect, possibly a draft pick. VGK, as we know, no salary cap, and they don't care about draft picks. So they'll definitely part with draft picks anytime they can as part of their assets in the package. But could they do perhaps a 3-team deal there to get Hutton off the books too?
There's always a possibility. And of course, that would free up a little more cap space. But then now the 7th defenseman role, I mean, I guess you got Coughlin. They traded for Davies. There's a few other players on the roster that are likely earmarked to go down to Henderson to start the season. So sure, they could enter with someone like that as number 7 on the roster. I don't know if I love that idea, but the Golden Knights don't love Ben Hutton either. So I guess that makes that whole situation a little bit easier to figure out. But I don't think Hutton is a key point to this deal necessarily. But if it does end up happening, a 3-team deal where maybe someone eats a little bit of salary cap, who knows? And that could be like, I do think the price is a tad bit stiff if you're giving up Connelly and a second. That's why when I did suggest Barbashev, Connelly, and second for Anderson, that there should be some salary retained on the side of the Flames, about 25%, $1.1 million, which would also at that time have freed up $3.5 million for the Golden Knights to spend on whatever's left out there in free agency or acquire another asset via trade. But Barbashev is off the radar, so now you focus on Whitecloud. It makes sense. It makes sense on VGK's side. Doesn't make sense for the Flames, who are a bit handcuffed, knowing that Anderson only wants to sign with the Vegas Golden Knights. McCrimmon knows what Anderson wants. The Flames know what Anderson wants. So does this wind up hurting the potential return for the Flames? Possibly.
We talked about where Rasmus Anderson could possibly fit in for the Golden Knights. I said perhaps the top pairing with Shea Theodore, but I also thought perhaps that he pairs with Noah Hannafin. I think that they were a pair back in Calgary. I think they were during the Stampede. I think he could pair up with Hannafin. They've got good chemistry. No, you say no.
I'm laughing at the Stampede. I'm not saying no. I'm laughing at the Stampede comment.
I don't know where that came from. Okay, anyway, 31 points for Anderson, but I think that they would help out each other's game. That's why I think this is another integral piece for the Vegas Golden Knights.
No doubt. And looking at, I'm curious about
Were they a pairing? Because I think, again, it was Hannafin a bust, not or bust. I didn't think Hannafin had a great season a year ago, and they took him off as the QB, in fact, and put Shea Theodore back in his rightful spot there on the power play. But I didn't think he was that great. What are your thoughts?
I mean, so a couple things here. One, Shea Theodore should be the quarterback of the power play. I do agree with that, and I agreed with that before last season started. And I liked Theodore having a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming in the last season and playing well. If it wasn't for a freak injury, you're looking at a 70-point season from Theodore. Hopefully he can get that going this season. Noah Hannafin is a lefty. Rasmus Anderson is a righty, so that obviously helps that possible top pairing right there. Looking at Anderson's some of his metrics from last season, dude was playing 23.59 a game.
Good fill-in for Pietrangelo.
24 minutes. And we know that Coach Cassidy does like to have two A1 defenders together. Cassidy preferred Hannafin and Pietrangelo on the same pairing,
right,
to suck up those minutes. And then you keep McNabb and Theodore together, and your third line is now going to be Korzak and Lawson, and hopefully
that's much better. That's much better.
It makes sense. It makes
all the sense in the world. That's why he is the missing link right now defensively for the VGK, and Lawson will come in, beat the snot out of guys. I think that's the best pairing situation for VGK.
Yeah, I mean, you look at when the Golden Knights won their cup, you look at what Pietrangelo was able to do, and that was log a lot of minutes and log a lot of important minutes. Now you have a combination of Hannafin and Anderson able to fill that role, and I'm not sold on Whitecloud. I think maybe Whitecloud deserves a segment soon. I'm not sold on Whitecloud being ready to be a top 4D.
No, absolutely not. I'm in agreement with you there. Coming up next, what were some of the harsh conversations that the team had behind closed doors after VGK was eliminated by the Edmonton Oilers. Our discussion next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're about to take on baseball under the lights, golf on the green, NBA Summer League hoops starts this week, or high stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get into the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the Ultra Pool. I've been using FanDuel to track all of my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's so easy to use. It has a fast payout system, which is tremendous, and it makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. And of course, you can place those same game parlays, or you can watch your bet ride into the ninth inning. FanDuel makes it feel like you are part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So, Elliot Friedman reported on the final episode of 32 Thoughts for the season on Sunday, the 3-hour plus episode that I had to dig deep to find stuff and material about VGK. In any event, there were some harsh words exchanged around the Golden Knights in the aftermath of getting bounced in the playoffs by Edmonton. VGK dominated by the Oilers, and Friedman said the front office, the players, and the coaching staff were all mad and perhaps at each other. And here's something, an angle here that I was thinking about, Chris. So remember I said I asked if Bruce Cassidy might have been told he had to retool his system rather than him just going, you know what? We need to develop a new system where we're shooting the pucks. I still believe this could be a part of these, quote, harsh conversations. I do. I really, now it's starting to make sense to me, because I was thinking, did Cassidy just come up with that? Or did McCrimmon and such, McPhee, even Bill Foley's a part of the team every day now. Did they come up with him retooling the system?
So one thing that I think people need to remember, and this is with we got to get our Marner algorithm and Marner. But one thing people need to understand, and this has been brought up with the Marner acquisition, is people are wondering what the spotlight is going to be like for Marner and what amount of pressure is he going to have. And everyone in Toronto is like, oh, he's leaving the harsh media world of Toronto and going down to Vegas,
to the country club. It's the country club here.
But the thing is, it's not. It's far as far as the pressure to perform, it is very far from that. And Foley expects a Stanley Cup contender. That's his measurable to McPhee and McCrimmon, and it goes downhill from there to the coach and staff and the players and everything in between right there. So harsh conversations at the end of last season. I do wonder how this came about. I mean, was there a scolding from Foley and McPhee and McCrimmon to Cassidy? Hey, dude, what you did didn't work. Plain and simple. You had a division champion. You had the second or third best record in the NHL, however that shook out. And the Oilers, for lack of a better term, had their way with you. And I do agree with that. I think that series was not nearly as close as, even though it was a 5-game series, it didn't feel even that close, honestly. So you wonder how pissy everybody was in the end. Was there finger pointing? Was there blame? I don't know if that's necessarily that there should be any of that. I mean, Aiden Hill was not good by any means. He didn't lose the series, but he definitely didn't give the Golden Knights the best chance to win. Golden Knights couldn't score any goals, shoot for a system, retool the system. This is where all of this certainly is coming together. And I do wonder what this was like. Like, was it simply the players being upset that they didn't deliver There's a letdown in the playoffs. Call it a letdown. Call it what it is. Or was this, hey, listen, Coach Cassidy, he got weird in the playoffs there and made some changes, and that's why we didn't score any goals in the last couple of games. I don't think that's right, but maybe that is what was happening.
So the front office, I'm sure that the team, the players, the coaches heard their wrath, and the coaches were disappointed and upset, right, that they didn't execute whatever plan there was. And we go back again. Was it at the end of last season where I was just saying how the Cassidy system was getting too predictable? And lo and behold, here you are, low to high. It's just like there's no secrets, right? With Cassidy, it's just, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You have to beat us at our game. End of story. The players, just curious. Again, there's a lot of leaders in that clubhouse. Was there finger pointing? I think that is a big question here. What were these harsh conversations? The one-on-ones, Carlson saying that it was a wasted season. What actually, what could have gone on in there with the players on that side? I get the wrath of the front office. I understand Cassidy, but the players are typically, they band together. But I'm wondering what happened there.
Yeah, it would have been nice if Friedman could have gone like another layer deep or something like that. Because I mean, there's harsh conversations means a lot of things. I've been on the receiving end and the giving end of many harsh conversations when I used to run poker rooms and have a higher level job on the strip. And harsh conversations can be good conversations. They can be scary and not fun as well. I've been on the wrong side of those too before. But in general, a harsh conversation usually is a reality check. And at the end of the day, both sides grow from it and have a better understanding of each other. Was this the finger pointing? And I don't know. I mean, what's the finger pointing? Oh, the defense saying the forwards didn't score. The defense saying Aiden Hill was bad. I mean, I don't know. And I don't know if that's necessarily right. And I'm just thinking about the movie Moneyball a little bit here right now. You got Brad Pitt's character. He wanted the coach to play a certain roster, certain players. The coach wouldn't do that. He would play who he wanted, blah, 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 blah. So comparing that to the Vegas Golden Knights right now, Coach Cassidy about, shoot first, retooling the system and everything. Well, they got 100-point player. 70 of those are going to be assists and Mitch Marner. So how is that necessarily 80. Retooling the system 80. Is the question.
80 assists for Mitch
Fine,
Marner.
That's my point. So, you go out and get another, and again, this is not a bad thing about Mitch Marner, but you just wonder, is everyone on the same page, I guess, right now, as far as players coming in? Mitch Marner will find a very good role in this team, and he will prosper and, continue to be one of the NHL's elite players. And I still say this, Mitch Marner has better offensive instincts than Jack Eichel and better defensive instincts than Mark Stone. And it's going to be a very solid addition for the team. But finding where he fits in and this new shoot first system and everything, how is this all going to work out? And this is where I wish it was about September 1st right now, so we can start, getting an idea of that.
McCrimmon said in the aftermath, we are going to see changes. And then he also said that they needed scoring wingers. I'm still, at the end of the day, even if they get Rasmus Anderson, VGK, I still think there's one more piece, and I'm not quite sure what that piece might be. Someone else that could score, someone else that's out there, maybe another trade.
I mean, Razovic, a couple other players out there. I got to look at them at the numbers for some of these other players that are still there. But I do wonder. I mean, every day that goes by, Victor Olofsson's value is dropping in free agency.
Oh man, plummeted.
And I don't like the idea of Victor Olofsson coming back. I don't know where Victor Olofsson fits in with the way
IKEA line, bro.
Right now.
The IKEA line. What do you mean?
Yeah. Then where does Brandon Saad or is Riley Smith the fourth liner then?
Maybe, I don't know.
Unrelated, Jonathan Taves made the comment. I want nothing given to me. I'll start on the fourth line when talking about his role with the Winnipeg Jets. I thought that was pretty cool right there. And
work his way up.
Yeah, no, Taves is going to be wonderful. I can't wait to see his impact on the Jets. But back to the Golden Knights and everything, putting a bow on this. These harsh conversations. I don't know. I don't know where to go with it. I didn't really think about the segment a whole lot. I just kind of wanted to see where the conversation went. And I'm still kind of at a loss at maybe where they came from. But I could certainly see it from the top. Hey, again, you had a division winner. What the heck happened in the playoffs? And I can see that maybe going downhill from there.
Yeah, for sure. And thus we did see changes, and there could be more on the way. Coming up next, VGK signing 3 depth pieces. We'll tell you
Yeah, we
more
finally got to this.
as we return right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. We're going to talk about development camp too while we're at it. Welcome back. Welcome back to Lockdown Golden
Is it
Knights.
over already?
Tony, we didn't even know it happened. Tony Cardasco.
Well, we
Chris
don't care
Muller
that it's
from
happening. There's
Las
a difference.
Vegas.
We don't care.
Yeah,
we know it's going. We don't care.
It was just check the box for VGK. Don't forget Fridays, WTF, Saturdays, sometimes Chris Times Chris Jr. show. Please subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. That's sizzling hot, by the way, and we appreciate everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, subscribing and helping out there and taking a look and also leaving some great comments that we really
We're about to hit
enjoy.
2,100 on YouTube. I'll tell you right now, 2,109 on YouTube. That's pretty awesome as far as subs go. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we were way back, way back. So we're making up some ground. Oh, okay. So VGK makes up some ground, signing 3 players: Raphael Lavoie, Jonas Ronbjorg, Cole Schwint, pretty much depth pieces for this team, and regulars, if you will, in the AHL. I like Lavoie's game, perhaps the best. Small sample size, 9 games with VGK, but he definitely has some upside.
There's a ton of upside with Lavoie, and let's start with the concern. He's now played 16 NHL games in his career, 7 for Vegas, or 7 for Edmonton, 9 for Vegas, and a big nothing burger as far as goals and assists. With Bakersfield in the 23-24 season, 50 points in 66 games. With the Silver Knights in the 24-25 season, 27 points in 42 games, 10 goals and 22 goals. So point is, and even had a 25-goal season with Bakersfield in 22-23. So 24-year-old Lavoie, he has a nose for the net. He knows how to score at the professional level. And I saw it in a few games with the Golden Knights last year. Big, tough player, battles well in the corners, gets to the front of the net. And it seems like there could be a path for him to become a regular NHL player at some point, whether it's Vegas or elsewhere. Definitely want to see his game grow, and he's going to have opportunities next year. I think he's the first one. If there's anything happening with the top 9 getting injured, I think Ronbjorg is maybe the 4th line winger, kind of comes in when BGK needs a penalty killer and injuries and such like that. But Lavoie certainly, I think, has a nice future. Or is he on the Denisenko career path where he's solid in the American League and can't figure it out in the National League? And that's, 16 games, we're not going to judge Lavoie's NHL game yet, but it's also on the radar. We'll see if he can get it going.
And then you have Ronbjorg, the Great Dane, if you will, a member of the Danish Olympic team.
The pride of Denmark.
The Great Dane. 76 NHL games, 3 goals, 10 assists, and misses the net a lot. Just in observing his game. But I guess he's going to be a good add-on, a good additional piece, a depth piece for the Golden Knights.
Ronbjorg is fine for the Silver Knights, definitely an impact player on the ice. 28 points, 22, 23, 25 points, 23, 24, 26 points last season. And again, like you said, 76 NHL games, just 10 total points, 3 and 7. So again, Ronbjorg can check the box of, hey, the Golden Knights need a penalty killer to come up from Henderson, play on that 4th line, log 8, 9, 10 minutes, and then be on PK 1 or 2. Ronbjorg is a great role for that. As far as, a long-term outlook and being an NHL player, he's 26 years old. If it hasn't happened by now, he's not going to be unlikely to be an everyday NHLer.
Yeah, but he'll contribute, of course, to that Danish team in the Olympic Games. He's an Olympian. That's big. Cole Schwint, 42 games, 8 points, 1 goal. Played in Game 5 against Edmonton. Claimed off of waivers from Calgary a season ago, and they always seem to be very high on Cole Schwint, and maybe I'm missing what's happening there.
Cole Schwint was part of the Matty Tkachuk, Jonathan Huberdeau trade, I believe.
Yeah, he
One
was.
of
He
the
was.
prospects in that. I don't know if that got him on the radar or what it was,
He
but
should
again,
have
we're
been a
talking.
Panther. He should have had his name on the cup.
Maybe he does. I don't know. He
Maybe he
played
still is on there.
21-22. So no, his last game was a long time ago in Florida, so that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Again, talk about his AHL numbers: 66 games, 36 points the previous season, 32 points in 70 games the year before that. So again, finding ways to make an impact at the professional level. Will that transfer over? Schwint's 24 years old. Nothing but time still to kind of figure things out. We'll get plenty of chances in Henderson. And like I said, he's probably behind the depth chart right now, as far as after the Golden Knights' top 12 forwards, is probably a likely Rondbjerg, Lavoie, Schwint, or maybe reverse Lavoie and Schwint, depending on what the scenario is. Connelly, I don't think, is making this team as much as fans want.
Yeah, he'll get a cup of coffee. He'll get a cup of coffee though if he's still around here with VGK. They want to see what he's like there. He'll play preseason games, and if he plays well, he'll get another chance. Right?
We're talking Connelly or talking Schwint?
Connelly.
Oh, Connelly, yeah. Connelly will probably play in nearly every preseason.
I mean,
game,
the next
down to
Gretzky,
the dress rehearsal.
Yeah, the next Gretzky, you have to have him, play sometimes there just to be.
Yeah, I mean, dude's probably going to score 6 goals in the preseason and shove it in my face, which I'm fine with that too. I'm more than okay with that.
Really. So I was looking back on when coming up, like they said, perhaps at the midway point of this month. They don't have a specific date. Way to go, NHL. The schedule release. So I went back a year ago. Do you realize the schedule was released already by now? July 2nd is when it came out. So there could be some sneakiness here by the National Hockey League, and they could overnight, maybe late night news dump, release the hockey schedule here for the upcoming season. But it did. Last year came out July the 2nd, which I found pretty interesting. It was already out by now.
It can't be as bad as the Lavoie, Rondbjerg, Schwint news dump on what was that Sunday night about 9 o'clock.
No. It was right after we recorded. So as soon as we posted the show, VGK
on Sunday, but it was on a Sunday though. It was on a Sunday.
They did it Sunday, yes, which is again, media people are snoozing at that time. But it was right after we posted our show. So I know that they're definitely watching us here.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, these signings are they're more priority than development camp to me, but not that big. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the combined total of games played for those 3 players hopefully is somewhere between 20 and 25. That would bode well for the health of the top 12 forwards for the Golden Knights, and that's kind of why don't spend a lot of time on it. I mean, the reality is in this town, not a lot of people care about HSK. They're not overly concerned about and don't push back, people. Don't push back and say that, oh, more people care about the Silver Knights. Look at their attendance numbers. And I'm not throwing shade at the Silver Knights. I'm simply acknowledging the reality that people don't necessarily care as much about minor league hockey in this town as the Foley family would have hoped. That's all I'm saying.
I would have given up a Cole Schwint any day, re-signing him for a Tanner Pearson. I would have. I thought Tanner Pearson.
But Pearson, did he get $2 million? What was Tanner? He went to Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Or did he get $1 million?
$1 million, I think. I think it was $1 million. It was $1 million. It was $1 million.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean,
I would have given up one of those. Not Rondbjerg. I think he still has he's a good role player. Lavoie, big upside. I think his best days are to come. Schwint, I still have a question mark. I'm just not seeing why they are so high on him. And I would have much rather had a Pearson because he was gritty. He played hard in the playoffs. I like what he did. And he just went after the loose.
Well, remember Pearson, though. Pearson's a
down.
free agent. Pearson has to agree to sign on the dotted line, too. And Pearson's going to look up and down the roster. He's going to look at the 12 forwards and say, what's my path to being on this roster every day? And he's not pushing Brett Hutton off that fourth line. There's not a single player in that top 12 that Pearson is pushing out of the lineup. So I think that might have something to do with it. And the Jets, looking at their situation, looks like he's got a little better path to being in their top 12 all the time. So I think that might have something to do with it too.
And not just the Golden Knights, but the entire NHL is trolling us. So after we post today's show, the schedule is going to be released. I'm sure.
Schedule's going to come out. Anderson trade's going to happen.
It could happen.
Golden Knights are going to get another outdoor game at Allegiant.
And that's right. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. From my man Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. Please take care.